until he saw his parents appear in a luxurious banquet hall, spending money like water, throwing a lavish birthday party for their adopted son. The man finally realized his poor and struggling parents were actually the richest people in the country. Pretending to be poor and sick for 20 years was just to toughen up his character. In that moment he hated them with all his heart. He remembered when he was 6, the first birthday of his life. His mother gave him a toy car. When he turned it over, another kid's name was written on the bottom. His mother smiled awkwardly and explained they didn't have money, so she bought a second-hand one for $10. The man didn't blame her, because he knew how hard life was for them. Even his clothes were hand-me-downs. His shoes were broken, but there was no money for new ones. Even at school, his classmates always mocked him for being poor. As he grew up, he wanted to change his fate through studying, wanted to give his parents a better life. But the year he got into a top university abroad, his father fell ill again. To pay for the surgery, he secretly gave up the chance to study overseas, and went to a construction site to do the dirtiest and hardest jobs. He even got down on his knees and barked like a dog, just to get his next month's pay in advance. After finally scraping together $100,000, the doctor told him the condition had worsened, and the surgery would now cost $500,000. With nowhere else to turn, he saw an illegal ad on the wall, and in the end sold one of his kidneys, just to hand over the surgery money to his father. To keep his parents from worrying, he endured the pain, and lied that he earned the money working. His father said with heartache, this illness wasn't worth all that effort, but he forced a smile, and said it was all worth it. He told his father to rest and recover. As long as he got better, he was willing to do anything. After saying that he told them to rest well, and said he had to go to work. As soon as he left, his mother blamed the father for being too cruel, saying the man was already 20, but never had a single birthday celebration. The father casually said it was all for his own good. Skipping birthdays was to build his character. But then he suddenly changed the subject, and said today was the adopted son's birthday. They were throwing a grand party at a 5-star hotel, and told the mother not to forget to prepare an expensive gift. Ironically, the party was being held at the hotel where the man worked. Later the parents showed up in suits, bringing the adopted son into the fancy hotel, and the man stood at the entrance, lining up with the other waiters to welcome guests. Because his head was down, he didn't recognize his biological parents right away. But soon, the manager came over and said the rich young master had specifically asked for him to serve. He didn't think too much, but the moment he walked into the banquet hall, he saw his parents on stage, joyfully singing happy birthday to the adopted son. To confirm if it was really them, he picked up his phone and called his mother's number. On the other end, his mother said they were still in the hospital, and he didn't need to come keep them company. That call completely shattered his last bit of hope. What he didn't expect was that the contractor who made him bark like a dog was actually one of his father's men. They had been acting the whole time, just for the sake of so-called training. In that moment, any gratitude he had for being raised by them was gone. Only endless hatred remained. Because of their lies, he had suffered over 20 years of humiliation, even sold a kidney, becoming a disabled man for life. He couldn't understand why in this family, the adopted son got everything, while the real son was raised in poverty. And right then, the adopted son loudly called him over to pour wine for his parents.